job, what I'm doing currently.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Astush.
Thank you.
So shall we start? Can folks who are back raise their hands on virtually? We have 4 people, 5 people, 6. Okay, I think we have the people back, right? So I'll just start sharing my screen. Any? Okay, let me just share the screen first. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm just going to slideshow mode. Any questions on this slide? Let me switch on the camera as well. We covered design approach before taking a break. So I hope the high level intuition is clear. Rule based, retrieval based, generative based. I was talking about GPT-2 and GPT-3. Looks like not everybody is familiar. So I wanted to quickly show you an example of a GPT-2 and GPT-3 kind of model, right? Let's me. Yeah. So I think I stopped sharing again. Just a minute. Let me. Okay, so this is one. It's not exactly a chatbot, but it is generating text. I wanted to give you an example. I am also giving the link in the chat also. Transformers is a famous module in related to NLP. I'm sure you must have heard of it. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see some of these GPT-2 based. Are you seeing my web page or are you still seeing my slide?
We are seeing web page, sir.
Web page.
Okay. So let's do this. Start writing. I'll try one of the examples. Let's see. Okay, before boarding your rocket to Mars, remember to pack these items first before you ever fly. Okay, that's how it completed, right? You can change some of these parameters, right? I'm not going to details of these, but it will complete it with a very logical sentence, right? Or rather, which makes sense in English, right? Might not be extremely logical. Before, okay, or I can say I am learning conversational AI. Okay, trigger autocomplete. Oh, okay, I think tab it from some of the understand the world and the way things work. Some of the best AI researchers in the world. Can anybody give me a okay? How is the weather? Okay, so it is basically using a pre-trained model called GPT-2, right? A variation of that model, and it is generating text. How is the weather today? Tab. I don't know is the answer. Okay. Okay, so you don't have a lot of control here, but it generates sentence. But it is also, it's an example of a generative process. It is generating text. Okay. I don't know where I'll be on this weekend or the weather. There's nothing wrong with looking to the weather this weekend, right? So it keeps on completing based on whatever you have typed, right? That was just a quick example. Let's go back to the slide. Just wanted to show you example of a generative process, right? One of the examples, right? It's a very advanced example, very state of the art, latest as well. Let's go back to the slideshow. I think. Can you see the slideshow now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So this was the some of the categories of what do you call it? The kind of conversational agents. How they are divided, right? So we will see some examples of these as well. Let me show you an example of maybe an Air Asia chatbot. Then we'll. Okay, so has anybody of you interacted with Air Asia website chatbot booking or any airlines, for example? Okay, so is there a support? Yeah. This is Twitter actually. In flight, maybe a refund. Is there a chatbot link you see somewhere or it should appear on its own, right? Oh, okay, this one. Need help,
Need
chat
help.
with Tia.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tia is the agent's name, right? Hey there, welcome to Air Asia India. Okay, so do you see it's actually what are some of the words which come to your mind which we just covered in the slide when you see this menu options? Hi there. I am Tia, virtual assistant. I can help you with a lot of things. Just let me know what you need. Flight cancelled, COVID guidelines, claim a refund, change my flight, check flight status. So what does this look like to you? Task oriented, open domain, closed domain, generative, rule based. Please let me know all your thoughts.
Closed domain.
Okay. Let
And
me.
each one is the kind of maybe rule based.
Okay. Just FYI, I can check flight statuses up to 15 days. Type in your flight number, example I51234. Okay, can we pick up one flight number from here? Okay, let me type junk. IC512. Yeah. Oops, that's none, not one of ours. It's actually Air India, by the way, if you guys know. So could you check and try again? It's on your itinerary, example I5963. Okay, let me take this one as well. What the chatbot is suggesting. So did you see it handled an error? So it has some internal logic which checks if you have entered a valid flight number. I just need the date of departure. Reminder, I can only check flight status up to 15 days. Okay. So should I look up, should I do a submit? Nope. Okay. So that's what, so it failed here. As you can see, I gave something which I thought it was correct. It checked, right? I5, is there an I5 963 flight, by the way? I5 963. Yeah, there is a Kolkata Siliguri flight. Not sure why we don't have anything that matches the description. Okay, so as you can see, there are some issues here. When you do a start over, it will start again, right? So if you are looking for a refund, Could you tell me more about what happened? So again, so what is this happening? Do you see a set of steps happening, right? Is this again? It's a task. Is this a task oriented, right? This is task oriented.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, duplicate booking, airport tax refund. Now the problem here is I want to cancel my flight. If there is a flight, okay, I want to cancel my flight is probably a more broader category. If I do that, I don't think I like where this is going, but I'll help you anyway in the cost case of at least 2 hours prior to. Could you help me with your PNR number? So let me give a what should I give? Maybe A B C D E 345. Okay. See. Sorry, but doesn't let me help. It looks like something in the itinerary. Okay. So let's use this guy. So the reason for showing you this is it can see that what a typical AirAsia is a pretty big company. It's an airline, right? So this chat, uh, so it's actually showing you a fake PNR here. Like it's not again. So if you enter a PNR number, it can initiate the refund or whatever cancellation charges, right? Or a refund for the ticket, right? So it's managing quite well to handle some of these lot of these tasks which would normally go to a customer support agent on phone, which would involve a lot of time and resources on the team's part, right? They would be, even their load is reduced because for canceling and other things people are coming here, right? So that's the benefit. And again, this kind of chatbot has some characteristics which we just discussed, right? It is not probably an advanced conversational agent for sure, right? But it is still getting the job done, right? That's an example. Any suggestions, feedbacks? What do you think for such chatbots? Any intelligent feature you want to add here? More
Mm,
intelligent, making it.
Maybe logging. If they log in, then it would be a good idea, sir. Right? Example, if they have cancelled some other ticket with a PNR number, not sure they can do, but it's not asking for anything as such login information.
Good point. But you know, the login and all, if you already have a PNR number, they probably know about you, right? So
Oh,
they will make you. It's a good suggestion. They can make you log in, but they're probably trying to reduce your extra steps, right? By just retrieving the information once you give a proper PNR number and then refunding it for you, right? So, but for even for checking your flight status, I don't think any airline website asks you to log in because it's a hassle, right? Who will
mm,
remember a password and a username?
true.
So all they want you. So if you click on manage flight, they will just ask you. Every airline does this, right? First name, sorry, PNR, and the first or last or email or mobile number, right? These
Okay.
things obviously nobody forgets, right?
True.
PNR, you will always have the ticket handy. So that's the thing. So good point there. But again, customer experience is the first thing which they think about, right? So that's the one. So the chatbot itself is a step in that direction. It is saving people from online, sorry, from the phone queues, right? I'm sure many of us might have experienced 15-20 minutes minimum wait when talking to Indigo or some other flight or any of the flights, not just Indigo, any of the flights, ABC flights, right?
Correct, sir.
Okay, that was so this is like this couple of hours here almost. We have now spent on the theoretical aspects of conversational agents, what kind of conversational agents we have, right? And the whole idea of this course is to make you familiar first and then make you implement some of these conversational agents using various tools and techniques. Some of them are mentioned at a high level in the lesson plan as well, right? So next, what I'll do is I will quickly cover, I will not spend a lot of time, but a basic uh, review of the NLP concepts here, right? Just a quick overview. We will come back to this slide later. This is some kind of, it's like more of a chatbot steps, right? We'll come back to it later. Again, Domino's example is something which I mean, that's already given a Domino screenshot, screenshot of a Domino chat in India, right? Welcome to Domino's. How can I help you? It limits you in the very first step, right? It is not allowing you to enter any free text. You can only have queries. Queries and feedback probably again would have sub menu items, right? But you can just track current order, view offer, stores near me, contact store. That's it, right? And when you view offer in combo, it gave an error for me, right? That's the whole thing. Query and feedback. Please type in your mobile number, right? That's the whole idea. So they want to check if you are giving query and feedback, are you a customer who has ordered in the past, right? They want to check. So that's again some of the rules. But again, for Domino, this kind of chatbot is kind of handling whatever they used to get on phone, right? So they are happy with it probably, right? Any suggestions on how Domino can make add more features specific to pizza? Why I'm asking this question is because chatbot as a field is not just about learning a tool and then using a chatbot. You can definitely do that. It's also about thinking of how you can introduce a chatbot in a domain and make it make the customer experience really nice, right? So that's why, do you think any improvement, any feature in the Domino chatbot which can help Domino? Hope you understood my question. Take your time. Can it make some changes to stores near me, right? It already has probably it's tracking me if I'm allowing it to, right? Of tracking my location from where I'm typing. Probably the browser is doing that, right? Maybe it can customize some of these to the location, saying here are the 3 stores nearest to you. Which store do you prefer, right? Or it might already, based on some of my, if it's tracking me and if it knows somehow that I've ordered, right? Recently somebody's ordered, it can directly show, it can directly kind of, it can directly check its database and see that I'm delayed and my order is delayed. It can start showing me some information proactively, right? Won't that make me really happy?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that's the kind of features. Yeah, go ahead.
And also, sir, like one more features I'm thinking is to give offers. For example, the customer is made a menu order from last week. If
Hmm.
last 1 week he's not making any order, maybe
Hmm.
the Domino's can give some kind of offer so they can again start ordering something that also
Yeah,
pops up
that's
whenever.
yeah, that's a good example, right? So it's customers last time he or she was seen on the website, right? So they have to, again, some of this is challenging because obviously tracking is somebody, if you would like to track, if you are happy with they tracking you, then it's allowed. If you're opted out, then they don't have any clue, right? But yeah, that's another usefulness, right? Many of the websites, they personalize your experience on the website based on what you have purchased in the past, right? So for Amazon probably would have a section which shows recommendations for you. Netflix has a recommendation for you section, right? All of us must have seen some similar things on the web.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so yeah, so a chatbot with personalization can definitely enhance the user experience. That's the whole idea, right? Hope you guys agree. Hope you all agree.
That's yeah.
Okay, so before I come to, again, these are some basic steps. I will come to them just in a, like, maybe in 15-20 minutes. Let me cover some backup items here. I'll not spend much time. I will just want to give you an overview of some basic NLP things, right? Now, even last 2-3 years, transformers are the latest developments in NLP. They've totally revolutionized NLP. Did you have any exposure to transformer models? Any of you or all of you? Transformer is a module in Python also. Transformers. Anybody knows about them?
Yes, like we've used BERT for text classification.
Awesome.
Yeah, and as part of the exam for previous module for NLP,
Ah,
I attempted Cora duplicate question classification. So there I was able to successfully implement using BERT algorithm.
awesome. So looks like you have this basic. I would then not spend much time on it, right? NLP, as you know, includes elements from AI, computer science, and linguistics, of course. It is basically about computers to process and understand natural language for carrying out useful tasks like question answering, right? Question answering again is somewhat of a conversational AI thing, right? You agree? For machines, currently fully understanding the meaning of language is difficult. Now, perfect language understanding is an elusive goal. It is difficult, but we are getting close to it, right? We are making progress. We are away from that, but it's something which we are definitely improving ourselves every month, right? Every month you see some of the other interesting chatbot or language model which has been developed. That's an NLP. See, again, this was a historically uh, people want to know what a word means, right? So they have in the 90s, or in fact in the 80s, I think early 90s, they had this wordnet in Princeton where every word was shown in this hierarchy. So everything was an artifact, which is a parent category of everything. Then you have a motor car is a type of a motor vehicle. A go kart is a motor vehicle, and a motor car can be of three types, right? So this is the idea that is represented by the word, idea that a person's by used to express that word is a relationship, right? So a compact is a motor car is a motor vehicle, and a motor vehicle is an artifact, right? So whatever word you have, it will find this word in this huge tree, right? It looks like a tree, right, with many branches, and it will give you all the child nodes of this tree or child branches of the tree are a type of the parent, right? So a compact is a hatchback is a motor car, gas guzzler is a motor car, right? So this is a relationship between various words. Now some huge issue with this traditional approach, difficult to keep the dictionary updated, subjective, requires human labor, right? Now why I am showing you all this, there is a relevance. We just talked about like in the last hour about intent, right? What is the intent of the customer? What are they trying to do when they're chatting with a chatbot, correct? So for an intent identification, you want to identify what is the meaning of the word, right? And this was a traditional way of doing it. It did not succeed a lot because of manually keeping this dictionary, huge dictionary updated, human labor required, right? So WordNet failed. So then in like this was 2014, 2013, 2014, 8 years from now back, words. I mean, this was okay, not okay. So this was the traditional NLP technique. I'm sure you would have, you are familiar with vector space representation. There is an issue with dimensionality, 20k words for each. If there are 20k unique words in English, you will have 20k digits where the one word is just one, and the word itself and the rest all the things are zeros, right? So this is a one hot representation. And here the problem is hotel and the motel, which are almost the same thing with some differences, are very completely different word, right? So this was the problem with the vector space approach. There was no similarity between similar words, right? So this is where very quickly they started using the context of the word, right? So they started representing the word not by a set of zeros and ones, but by the vectors. Any question? Okay. So, but not by the word itself, but by the context or the surrounding words, right? So, if there is this word banking, which is talking about financials, and there is this word river bank, which talks about the river, right? Bank of a river, bank of the Kaveri river, right? Or bank of any river in India, famous river. It is not same as banking. So it is not same as which is the top bank in India, right? Both of the words are the same, but the meaning is not same. So it was able to then make a difference. But in the earlier approach, where you had a vector space representation, it would be remain the same. It would not be able to distinguish between the two. But here you could distinguish, and something called as a word vector was people came up with around 8 years back, right? 7, 8 years back. And these word vectors had this magical property where a minister is similar to a leader, a president. If you plot them, the vectors, reduce them into 2 dimensions and plot them into x and y coordinate, all these similar words are close together, right? So why is this important for a chatbot concept? Because chatbot again wants to identify what you're saying, and it can identify by checking or comparing your distance, right? And the distance can be compared if you convert words into their vector representation like this. Hope I'm making sense here.
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So yeah, word vectors are used as secret sauce for NLP. It is as you can see, there are many examples. I'm sure some of you are already aware. Most of you are already aware, right? So word vectors, as and by the way, anybody without who has some doubts here, please clarify now. I will be more than happy to discuss and clarify. Okay, thank you. So these are some of the examples: sentiment analysis, bilingual word embedding. You can create wordings, embedding of words or vector space representation for two different languages. Interesting application. Now this is some data, some raw data, right, which I have converted into, or you can also convert very easy, few lines of code only. You can convert into word vectors, and you can plot it onto, by reducing the vector into 2 dimensions, you can plot it into a chart, right? And as you can see, a lot of similarity. Email, the word email written differently is close to each other. The word, let me show you in the next page some of these examples. Yeah, so the numbers are close to each other. The word incorrect and wrong is close to each other, which indicates that even though they are different words, but their meaning is the same. Ordered, placed is the same. Rep, sales, ISR. Again, some companies call ISRs as internal sales people, ISRs, right? The 5 closest words to cracked would be cracked, broken, water spill, shattered, right? So using this, you can convert, or you can check if 2 words are close to each other, right? That's why it's very important, or intent identification, right? That's in a nutshell, I think, the background of NLP. Let me now go back to the chatbot. Okay. Let me go to slideshow mode. Are you seeing the slideshow now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So for a conversational agent, these are some of the high level steps. Now, some of these steps might not be very clear now, so bear with me. I will give you an intuition, and then we will implement some of these steps, right, separately, and we will not use a tool to start with where everything is implemented, because we want to learn, right? We want to create one of our own later on going forward, but there are tools in the market which can do a lot of these things out of the box, right? But again, let's look at things one at a time. Let's start with implementing some of these things using Python, right? That's what we'll do today, and next class as well. So an incoming message comes in, right, to a chatbot interface. Now, intent classification and entities recognition is very important. Intent classification I just talked about. So for example, if I reached a chatbot, I reached a AirAsia chatbot and I want to cancel my booking, my intent is cancellation. You agree? Now,
Yes, sir.
Yes.
yeah. So now this intent, now if I typed something and the chatbot identified my intent using any technique, we will do some intent classification ourselves today. Then there are two options. One, it can use some rule based techniques. It can say anybody with the word cancel in their input, looks like they are to cancel their booking, show them the cancel booking options, right? But it might fail, right? Because I might say I don't want to fly anymore. Please refund money, right? So maybe the cancel word is not there, but I still want to cancel my ticket. So rule based has a challenge there, right? You cannot just keep creating rules to capture everything. So the other option for intent classification is you want to use a machine learning model, AI, right? So you can train an AI, and AI will capture, okay, if somebody has written something differently with different words, but it can capture, right? Or you can combine, or you can the other third option is you can do cosine similarity. Are you all aware of cosine similarity?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good, good. So
Yes.
cosine similarity can be done with the words you have, or with your with whatever the customer has typed and a known intent, right? You have a repository of known intents, and what is there, what are the question solutions to the questions related to those intents, right? So you will do a cosine similarity, and we will do these things today. You will do a cosine similarity between the intent and I mean between the user input and your repository, whatever you have questions or intents you have, and then once it matches, it will you will provide an answer which is already created for you, ready made as a solution, right? That's one example, intent classification. Now dialog state tracker is nothing but it is trying to gauge or trying to measure, not measure, trying to find out what's the intent of the whole dialogue, right? What is the purpose? And then based on that, it is calling a dialogue model which basically generates the dialogue or creates the dialogue, which is the reply of customer's input. And based on that, an action is taken, right? And then it checks again if this dialogue state tracker needs that an action. Okay, what's the next? I mean, what's the intent here now after the action is done? And again, it deploys the dialogue model. It continues, and some side items which are needed is why do you think a translation API is required? Can somebody tell me in a chatbot or a conversational agent?
Like our model only understand English, and if we are typing in Hindi, so
Hmm.
we can translate it and send it to model.
Yes, correct, correct. That's a good. I mean, basic understanding, right? Is you not everybody will follow rules, right? Not everybody will write even proper English, right? People are in a hurry. People might not have time to like write a nice email or sorry, nice question on a chatbot, right? They might just type, okay, chalo, what's the price of this, right? And you have some Hindi words as well, or any local language, right? Any vernacular language. So then the translation API, as you can, so most of you would have seen in LinkedIn and Facebook, anybody even writing maybe using any Indian languages in English also, it is now translating that, right? Have you seen that? It is offering an option or showing an option saying translate this, right? So when you click that, it will show you. So this is an example. That's an example where a translation API is making the input uniform. It is in all English or any other language you want to translate to, right? Similarly, GeoNames API will tell you, okay, somebody has used the word Delhi, somebody has used the word Bangalore, Bangalore, right? It is actually a city in India, right? That's what it will tell you. And then based on this, based on these side or like not side, maybe important portions of chatbot, then the complete output message is being sent, right? So action is goes through this translation API, GeoNames API, database, then an output message is sent, right? Any doubts, any questions in these steps? Please spend some time on this one.
Sir, just wanted some more insight on the dialogue state tracker and dialogue model and like action.
Eh,
That's
Yes,
a
yes,
loop, right?
correct. Yeah, yeah. So let me give you an example. If just now you saw, right, I was giving an example on AirAsia where I was typing incorrect PNR or incorrect flight number, right? So they are identifying in this step that somebody has typed a PNR, right? Now their internal logic tells them that it's an incorrect PNR. So the dialogue model will tell the chatbot to generate an action saying, no, no, this is not a correct PNR. Please give me another, right? So it will, I will input again, right? And it will again take a call in this loop if I'm entering a proper entry, right? If not, it can either end it, right? It will end saying an output message, final output message saying, I don't think you have the correct PNR number. Please start over again, right? So
Got
that's an example where a dialogue state tracker is continuously tracking what you are inputting and finding out the intent, right? Intent has been classified, but a dialogue state tracker is checking, continuously checking, okay, what's the maybe the future intent, what is the intent of the whole chat, right? It is, and then it is using the appropriate logic to respond to that.
Got it, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so intent is classified and it is becomes part of the dialogue state tracking process or process flow. Yeah. Any other questions? Hope I'm making sense. We will do hands-on stuff pretty soon. Bear with me for the theory, but I think theory is also interesting in this one. Any questions on what is this making sense? Is this or is it like there's some confusion? Please ask me.
Ravi sir, one question. So once I enter, I'm in the dialogue mode model, and I enter some more text. So will it also? I mean, it should again undergo that entity recognition.
Yes. So it will definitely go entity recognition, right? So in this case, so okay. So what this circle means is, or this loop means is that for one round of interaction, it is doing all this, right? The moment you enter the fresh text, right, it will again do all this, right? So PNR validation, it will check for one task and it will give you an output message saying no, non-valid input. Then you will again do this, right? Then you will again go through this whole process where a dialog state tracker is checking, right, whether your your intent was cancellation, right, and based on your input it will take an action, right, and that action may be just displaying a message, or it might be okay, he has entered a proper input, let's just show him the PNR details, right? The whole idea, so that it's like I have again a basic flow chart in the next one. I will move to that once. Sorry. So yeah, this is you are processing the input, right? And there is something called as a logic adapter, right? Select a known statement which closely matches the input statement. Return a known response, right? This is like return the response to. This is like a much higher level flow, but this is what you're doing every time the dialogue model is going back to that. Dialogue model is making sure that whatever you have inputted is being handled correctly with the correct action.
Yes, sir. Thanks.
Any other questions before? So I want to. So after this, I want to show a quick example of intent classification, where we will use we'll take some SBI on the website of SBI. We have an FAQ. I was just thinking maybe we'll use that. We'll see different methods of identifying intent, right? And we'll create a simple FAQ kind of chatbot. Any questions till now? Okay, let me stop presenting. Okay, let's so has anybody heard of the model called zero shot model?
No.
Okay.
No, sir.
Okay. Let me show you. Okay. So this is a model trained by Facebook. I think mid of last year. It's called. It's a zero shot model. Why is it called zero shot model? It has been already been pre-trained on huge amount of text. So to use it, you don't need to train it again. It can do a lot of tasks. It's amazing actually. Let me show you it's how powerful it is. I have just pasted the link here. You all can explore it. So typically in a Hugging Face is the company which created Transformers. Most of you might be aware. If not, Hugging Face is a very famous company. I think it's based out of Norway or yeah, some neighboring country there. And yes, Scandinavian country, and Hugging Face or Sweden, I think. Yeah, Hugging Face is a company, and it's It's created transformers. It's amazing development in NLP in the last 3-4 years, thanks to Hugging Face and other companies, right? So what's a zero shot model I just defined? It's like something which doesn't need a lot of training. It's already been trained. So that's why it's called zero shot. Now, how does it work? You give it an input. Okay. Last week I upgraded my iOS version, and ever since then my phone has been overheating whenever I use your app. Now, what are some of the things which this sentence is about? So all you have to do is you do not need to train a model, right? You need to just do a mobile website billing account access. These four labels you have somehow you came up with, and then you compute, and you can say, okay, I can allow multiple true classes. Then you compute. It will say that your sentence is related to the label mobile 90 with a high score of 0.99. Account access is 0.446. Billing is 0.37, all low values. Website is 0.2, right? That's what. Now let me add another label here which says mobile problems. Okay, this is another label I've just added here. Let's compute. So do you see? It is assigning equal weightage to mobile problems as one of the labels, and also mobile itself, right? Now, if I don't allow multiple true classes, so that means these scores will add up to 1. Let's see what happens. So mobile problems is the highest one, followed by a mobile. Both of them add up to 0.1, right? But we usually kind of allow it to assign score to each of them. That's how it's easier to choose. So that's how it happens. So do you have basic understanding what it is doing? It is any text you feed it, and you need to come up with the labels or intents, right? In case of chatbots, they are intents. You can quickly identify what's the intent of the chat. Do you agree?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, so let's take an example. Okay, uh, I just talked about SBI, right? SBI FAQ. Oh, FAQ PDF. Okay, I don't need a PDF. Okay, let's no even okay. Oh, no worries. Okay, let's choose a question from SBI. Can I change my MPIN? Okay, what will happen if I enter wrong MPIN? What if I enter wrong MPIN correctly, right? Okay, just a minute, class. Sorry, yeah, I'm back. Okay, so let's paste this in the input here. By the way, you do not need this page to do this. There is a Python, you can just import transformers pipeline. You can refer this specifically the Facebook BART large MNLI model. Then it'll give you output. I'm just showing you for ease here. So okay, what will happen if I enter wrong MPIN? What if I enter wrong MPIN repetitively, right? Now let's come up with some intents here, right? Wrong MPIN is the first one. Then close account, right? Account balance. Okay, so maybe these are the three intents we are checking for. And somebody entered this text, right? What if will happen if I or rather somebody entered some text, right? Okay, let's not take the input. Let's I'm chatting with the SBI chatbot and I'm entering. I forgot. Okay, I entered MPIN wrongly 3 times and my account got locked. Please help me, right? Now a chatbot got this input. It is having an access to this zero shot model. You see wrong MPIN is 0.983. Okay. Wrong MPIN is 0.983, which is the highest score, right? So definitely this is a wrong MPIN related, right? So what the chatbot will do is it will take wrong MPIN related response here. Okay. And it will just take this answer from the repository, the database. It will take this answer and it will show it to you as a response. So did you understand what it is doing? It is identifying the intent. So that's what. So today we'll see multiple ways of identifying intent. I am showing the simplest way first, which is thanks to zero shot model, quite easy. Zero shot model is slightly bulky model, but it is very, very accurate. So this is the first way I'm teaching you today on how to identify intent, right? Using a zero shot model, you can identify this is a wrong MPIN and your data set will have labels, right? So let me open an Excel. Okay. Intent, question, response, right? So what is my intent first? Let's say my intent is wrong MPIN. Okay. Now what are the questions related to, what is the question related to that? I hope it is pasting from, yeah, correct. Okay, what will happen? Okay, and what is my response? My response is this big guy. Okay, now let's change another intent. Account opening. What is the minimum balance to be maintained, right? Let's take something here. Okay, and the intent is minimum balance or balance. Okay, and the output is, so you're just preparing your data. Normally you won't copy and paste like what I'm doing, but you'll crawl it and you'll have data sets programmatically or like you'll download it from the sources, right? So, but how does this work now? Now, somebody enters a chat here on the web page. Sorry, on your tool. I entered MPIN wrongly 3 times. You run this zero shot model on it and you find that wrong MPIN is the category of this question, right? Then what your chatbot will do is it will find, okay, wrong MPIN. Wrong MPIN, the score is 0.983. Okay. Did you see this? Do you remember this? It is 0.983, right?
Yeah.
And account. Okay, is the I think I changed some minimum balance probably. Okay, let me do this. No, minimum balance is maybe change this guy to minimum balance. Okay, or okay, let's assume that account balance is same as minimum balance. Just or I will just do it right, just so that there is no. It will give you very low score. Minimum balance is 0.703, right? So sorry, 0.70, not dash. So it will say, okay, 0.983 is the best one. So this is the correct intent, wrong MPIN. Now the question for wrong in my database for wrong MPIN is enter wrong MPIN repetitively. So I will just go ahead and paste this response to the user, right? So do you see how a basic chatbot works? Just one way. This intent identification can be done multiple ways. I'm just showing you the one way here, but hope you are appreciating what we're trying to do here, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, any questions?
So, yeah, maybe as you mentioned, sir, basic, but I have a question on like example intent for a
Yeah,
wrong MPIN.
please ask the question because this is basic, but this is something which you need to understand before we move to the advanced stuff. Okay, go ahead, go with the question. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, when the intent have multiple questions, right? Maybe for a NPIN related, if you have multiple questions and multiple
Mhm.
responses also you have, then how do we point to a particular response?
Yeah, sure. Let's change this question and make it multiple, right? Also, what is the minimum balance I need to maintain? Okay. Okay. So I have two questions in there. Let me add these. Can you help? Okay, this is my first question.
No,
And then
inside the same intent, sir, like same wrong NPIN only, I have
yeah,
multiple. Okay,
yeah. So this is the same chat I entered.
okay,
Now I compute the intent score. Now, as you can see, both of them are above 9, right? 0.966905. So what a very basic chat box, what it will do is, because it is also now 0.905. Okay, makes sense. So it will show you the scene sequence. I will show you first this response. I will present this, and then I would repeat your question, or I would say regarding minimum balance, no minimum balance has been prescribed at present. So I will show both the responses, assuming both the questions were present. Okay. So
okay,
this score above a certain threshold indicates to me that there is very highly likely that your question is similar to this intent. So because it crosses, so just assuming that my threshold is zero point 0.9, anything above zero point 0.9, I would assume that the question has that intent, right? So in this case, it has multiple intents. Now, again, if you ask me what will I show first, there are multiple ways of doing it. I would first check in what order have you asked. If you have ordered MPIN first, I would show you MPIN response first, followed by minimum balance response. But I would add them in same response. Just that first two lines and regarding MPIN, second two lines regarding multi minimum balance, and that's my response.
got it, sir. So if in case we have multiple questions on the same intent, then
Mm.
how do we identify relevant response, sir? So example in wrong NPIN only, if you have around 10 questions, FAQs, then
Good one. I get your question. So I showed you a very basic toy example, right? But
yeah,
real life, what will happen is this will be MPIN 1. This will be
okay,
MPIN 2. This will
okay,
be MPIN 3. And MPIN 1 will be wrong MPIN. MPIN 2 will be, okay, let me not guess. Let me go to SBI website. The MPN, there are a lot of, is it necessary for the MPIN to be numeric? Can I change my MPIN? So MPIN, so a real life test FAQs will be 15 of MPIN, 20 of account closure, like that.
okay,
And then we will find out, okay. So in case we are using, so this is the one, right? If you are using this approach, which I just showed you, why I showed you this, because it requires the least amount of coding, just a few lines will do, right? So
got it,
let's
sir.
start with that, right? So you cannot put MPIN 1 here. You will
Hmm,
have to write, instead of MPIN 1, you will have to write wrong MPIN. Instead of MPIN 2, you will have to write cancel MPIN, right? Or so on. Just couple of phrases you need to put, and then you can write all these, and then it will give you what response to give. Okay.
okay, sir. Okay, sir. So the like we need to do like a one-on-one relationship, right? One intent and one question and response.
Yes.
Okay,
So for example, sorry, can I get your name? I have
Santosh.
okay, Santosh. So for example, Santosh, this is because I'm using a zero shot model where you need to provide the intent to me to find out what is closest to this input, right? You need
Correct,
to
sir.
give this as you need to define here, right? Rather than MPIN 1. But if I'm using some other approach, which we will do shortly, if I am running just a simple machine learning model where I'm saying okay, question one kind of question is MPIN 1, question two kind of question is MPIN 2, right? So if my model is trained, then next time somebody asks a question, model will predict MPIN 1. I will say, okay, MPIN 1 it predicted. I don't need to know what is MPIN 1 model has predicted, right? Now I will go to MPIN 1 in the database and give the response corresponding to MPIN 1. Okay.
Okay, sir. Got it, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So hope
And
it's
sir,
making sense. Yeah, go
uh,
ahead.
so we are mapping potentially one candidate label. I mean, we are mapping the same text to more than one label here by checking this, ticking the checkbox.
Yes. So see, I would prefer you always tick this checkbox, right? Why? Because it will give you what all things are strongly in present there, right? What all labels have a strong mix in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
In case I write weather report, okay, it is not at all related. You can safely ignore it, right? Weather report is 0.001, right?
Right,
So,
sir.
but whatever is available, it will definitely give you. Okay. It looks like wrong MPIN and close account. No, wrong MPIN minimum balance is strongly indicated. Now you can write some more involved complex logic where you want to prioritize. Okay, what should I write first? Wrong MPIN, minimum balance. What should I write? So that's something which is up to you. You can come up with the logic how to prioritize, right? So I would there are good question, by the way. There are examples where an AI is faced with a solution where people have asked 3 4 questions and they need to give a hotel address, right? Based on, okay, I want to eat in a hotel which is, okay, let me write that down. That's a good example. So suggest me a restaurant with French cuisine at the center of the city, right? There are, so you see there is multiple intents here. I want to eat, right? This is one intent. I am looking for a restaurant. I want to eat French cuisine, right? Oh,
Right.
spelling is wrong. Sorry. French cuisine at the center of the city. So this is second intent, and I want to be at the center of the city. Now, normally a chatbot or a Google Map would not take into account all these three things unless you have to like develop this logic, right? In these three intents, how would you prioritize for somebody going hungry because French cuisine restaurant is like 50 kilometers away is might not be a good solution, right? So maybe you can prioritize things. Okay, which intent is priority here? Somebody is really hungry, then they can probably eat near where they are, or they want to travel in traffic to the center of the city, right? That might take 2 hours. So you understand what is the complexity there.
Yes, sir. Can we also run this with multi-class label on and off?
If you can, you can. I will show you. So we will do a basic coding. I think let's discuss right now. Immediately after lunch, I will make everyone do, or I will request everyone to do this working session where you need to come up with modeling a model to kind of look at this. I will share with you a data set of this intent and their questions and responses. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thanks.
Okay. So that's an example. Any other questions?
So, like one more question I have, sir, regarding the Air Asia we saw, right, sir? PNR number the user will
let's
enter.
let's go there.
So on that time, the PNR number, it has to extract from the text, right? So there is some kind of some extraction also required to identify the number, is it?
Yes, definitely. So that is something. So if you remember this slide which I was showing you, it has this translation API and geonames API, right? Which
Okay.
will, so that's for translating and geonames. Now you will have an additional logic which will convert anything which is alphanumeric to a PNR. So it is, see, your domain is airline booking. So you will need to be, your logic should include something which takes care of a PNR number as well, right? So it is domain specific. What kind of parsing do you need?
I think regex can do.
Sorry.
I think regex can do like.
Yeah, regex can do. In fact, a lot of chatbots till now were regex based, right? But now people do many of these things, which I mean, one of this is the intent identification using machine learning, which I am now talking about. Regex has been the very popular technique for a long time in chatbots. Regex can do identifying PNR. Regex can be a very good solution. Okay,
Got it, sir.
so I am just looking for a good data set.
So,
Okay, one.
Praveena here. I
Hi, yeah,
have
Praveen.
one data set which Shinuma mentioned.
Mhm.
Can you just see the data set how well we can use? We have two intents in that, the major category and the subcategory. So, can you help me out with what is the like?
Can you share it on the chat if it's okay?
Yeah, sure. So, can you see my screen?
Huh. Yeah.
So this is what is our data set where the intent, the main category is for
Mm,
course. We
mm,
have subcategories like sub intent.
mm. This is an interesting one. Let's use this for our working session today. Yeah. Hope that is
Yes.
okay with you, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We
So
can work
this
this
type
out.
of use case, when do we use? So
See, in your case, what is happening is you have question and answers, and your chatbot, when asked a question, would identify which question is this, right? So, if you remember, I just showed the bank example, SBI FAQ, right? Now,
yeah.
in your case, the category higher level is slightly vague courses, right? But if you combine it with the subcategory and make it one category, and make it a label, maybe a zero shot label can also give you that result quickly, right? So all you need to do is combine the category and subcategory when you are comparing your users input to your set of questions, right? So for example, if I take course prerequisites as one of the labels from row number 4 there, right? Then and then somebody asks what are the prerequisites and prior knowledge required to, it will show that as the most common question, I mean, sorry, most matching question, right, using the zero shot model.
Mm-hmm.
So then you can show E. So I would suggest one approach is combining C and D as one label, right? When you are doing, when you are matching the question to the when you are doing the retrieval, when you are matching the question to the closest question you have.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. You solved my problem of the data set. Otherwise, I had a bank data set, but it was not very clean. So I would like rather prefer having
I
this as
shared
one.
this data set.
Yeah, yeah. Please upload it here. We will all
Okay,
use this once we come back.
sure.
Okay. Some basic questions. What all are you? What platform tools systems are you using for coding here?
Python.
Jupyter Notebook, sir.
Like using
Jupyter Notebook. Everyone is Jupyter Notebook. So
yeah,
it's
Jupyter.
running on your local systems, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
using
yeah.
collabs as well, Google Colab.
Colab also
Yeah,
some people use.
yeah. So I will be actually using collab when needed, if needed, right? Because I am not using my official system, using a laptop which is not that powerful. So I will be using collab. But I would encourage others to use whatever best you have, because this is deep learning would be employed as well, right? Sometimes here. I mean, definitely in this course. So it's good to have a system with a GPU as well. But if it's not there, no worries. You will not be disadvantaged in any way. Just that for deep learning applications, it is preferred.
Sure, sir.
I think, okay, well, we have this 5 minutes. Okay, let's take a 5 minute early break. We'll meet at around 2. Okay, fine. And let's do then hands-on sessions then. Okay, we will use the data which I think you have uploaded, right?
Harshita, I'm not able to share it in chat. So can I
You
send
can
it?
send it to Hasita, and she can share it, right?
Okay.
I hope that is fine.
Okay.
Thank you. Let's meet in an hour. Okay.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Rishita, are you in the call?
Yes, Pravina.
Yeah, I sent you through chat. Can you mail it over to entire group?
Sorry, can you repeat?
I have sent you the data set over the chat,
Yeah, yeah,
Teams
sure.
chat. Can you mail it to entire group?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
So the break is till 2, right? Hashita?
Yes, yes, Pravina.
Okay.